We've got a bad cat behind us. Hey, welcome to Not Your Normal Channel. I'm back with my brother again, and we just saw Mary Poppins. Mary Poppins Returns, I guess is what it's called. And if you haven't seen it yet, don't watch this video. Go to my other video that I just posted a couple days ago. Check that one out. You can catch the link for the spoiler-free review just by pressing right up here or right up here. Today, though, we're going to talk in depth more about what we did and didn't like with Mary Poppins Returns movie. If you liked certain things about this movie, hit us up in the comments, and we would love to be able to see what you have to say. The movie starts out with these three little kids and their dad, also their aunt, who happened to be Jane and Michael from the very beginning.
In so many of the scenes, too, it kept looking like they were married.
Yeah.
And it was just weird when later then you find out that they aren't. But they do the reveal that they're Jane and Michael later.
I wasn't really weirded out by it because the trailers for it were already so clear.
I never watched any trailer about it. So.
The kid's mom had died. Michael's wife had died. There's a lot of grief that they need to get past. It's not about the dad that works too much anymore. Nothing like that. So there's a whole new set of circumstances, and Mary Poppins can help this family out in a whole different kind of way. And I thought Emily Blunt looked like the perfect casting for it, so I was really excited by it. I would watch the previews and show them to my daughter because I was like, yes, I can't wait for this. Like, we've got to go see this movie because my 4-year-old daughter loves Disney movies and really loves Mary Poppins. Yeah, so I was positive I was going to love this movie, and I liked it, but it wasn't my favorite.
Yeah, it was kind of the same. Like, to me, it almost felt like a movie that was made. Like, they keep doing this. Like, Disney does this. So many companies do this where they're almost specifically making these movies geared towards our generation. And so much of this movie just felt like that. It was almost like how I felt watching the new Power Rangers movie, where it's like, would a kid like this, or would we? Is this for us? You know. But I don't know. I just felt like a lot of the songs in this movie, they were well done, but I don't know that they're memorable.
This was my problem with the movie. It felt like every song, and I wish I had a list of every song, but I think every song had its counterpart in the 1960-something movie.
They mirror the original movie in many ways.
Yeah. Yeah, it just seemed like so you took a mundane activity of cleaning up that the kids didn't want to do in the first movie, and you made it fun with just a spoonful of sugar. Yeah. And then you did the same thing now.
Yeah, sure.
With
taking a bath.
With just taking a bath, and
which
now
I'm sure
you're going through the
thing that parents would like their kids to enjoy.
Sure, yeah, which is great. I mean, it's fun, but and actually, I didn't have even the slightest problem with it for like 2 of the songs because I just thought, well, yeah, I mean, that's what Mary Poppins does. You know, she comes in and she kind of has a bit of a formula where it's like, okay, this is what I'm going to do. I know the steps I need to take to get the kids to like me and to get them to want to respect my leadership here. Yeah. So. Okay, so I'm on board with that. That's fine. But then it just continued and continued. Instead of going into a chalkboard painting, they instead had the Bert character, which wasn't Bert anymore. It was Jack. Yeah. But instead, he jumps in, or they end up somehow jumping into this this vase. Yeah. And I mean, when the vase spun in the preview, and I saw all this animation, 2D animation, finally for a Disney movie, they finally had some 2D animation. I was so excited. I was like, this is going to be like the coolest thing ever. But it ended up being the exact same thing as jumping into the painting. Even down to where Mary Poppins like gets the spotlight and she wins the bouquet of flowers. But then all of a sudden they had this weird villain of the fox that came in, and they had to like, it felt to me like they had to ham fist this villain in, which even at that point I was okay with. I could live with it. It wasn't a big problem to me.
Well, I don't know. To me, that felt like Mary Poppins specifically created this character because she is the magic behind it all, right?
Okay.
So Georgie was the one that was kind of seeing the villain before anything.
Okay, yeah.
He was the instigator.
The littlest boy.
Yeah, Georgie was the smallest boy.
I don't even remember their names, and that's another thing that's probably not a positive for this movie.
I don't remember the other two.
Yeah, because Georgie did have a bit of a
influential
character development, but the rest of the kids didn't. So anyway,
I felt like Mary Poppins created that character in the base. Because she's magical.
Because she's magical. Well, I guess I could see that.
She knows a lot of things that she shouldn't know. It
turns out at the very beginning that they have stocks in the company. Right. And they're going to lose their house unless they can find the stocks in the bank that they're supposed to have, which they really have it from the very beginning. And the biggest issue...
They said...
George Banks. Yes.
Movie.
Yeah, George Banks. Okay.
They said that he had an undisclosed amount of shares.
Yeah.
They probably had a fortune in this thing.
Yeah.
So, they probably held
they could have made their lives so much better from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Maybe even saved his wife.
Right.
Who knows?
And he wouldn't have had to be like a penniless artist.
Yeah. That's a good point. Yeah. That's a very good point. But they had that happen, and then they go to the banker, who seems like a really nice guy, and I was so hoping, because I sensed deep down in my gut he was going to just be this stupid villain.
Yeah, if you're a banker, you have to be bad. Yeah. But if you're a menial laborer, then you're good. You are virtuous.
Yeah,
so
that's true.
That's what it is.
That's true. They take it to the banker, and the banker just is like, "Yeah, I'm so sorry, guys. Had I known that you were." That you had taken out this loan, I would have dealt with this loan all by myself. But because of this, my hands are just completely tied, and there's nothing I can do about it. And then, as soon as they leave the room, he calls them and says, "Hey, find all the bank's documents and bring them to me." And he rips out a page and then throws it in which, I mean, I'm sure that page had records of other people's business dealings also, not just the banks, but apparently
there
the
were
bank
tons
stuff
of other
is
names.
at the very top. Yeah.
Right.
So,
but also, I thought maybe there was going to be a throwback to the original movie there, where Mary Poppins salvages the pieces.
That even could have been good.
He burns it in the fire. And I was thinking, I'm going to see these come up the chimney, and you'll see the little ashes.
Could we write a better movie than they wrote, than Disney wrote?
But maybe Mary Poppins did do that, but we just didn't see it.
Yeah.
And then she knew about this guy's evilness.
Yeah.
Because the pieces naturally
that
came
would be
to
great
her,
had they done that.
The knowledge of this man's evil.
It's good subtext, if that is true. Yeah. That's good subtext. Like, that's good. That's good. Like, I would like to have seen them actually make that a part of the text.
It was part of the director's cut.
Yeah. That should be canon, not... My word, yeah. Yeah, so anyway, this movie is frustrating for me anyway, because there are so many missed opportunities like that. It's like they just took, to me it looks like they took the script of Mary Poppins, the original Mary Poppins, and they just went beat by beat, and they were like, okay, so we need a song for them to do a menial task and for them to enjoy it. Okay, now we need a song that's somewhat artistic, and we can have some animation and include the penguins.
I do think they did a good portrayal, but I don't think they recaptured that magic of the original so completely.
Speaking of recapturing the magic, I really loved seeing the house and London, all come together. But when you actually put it into the context of the movie, I felt like everything looked so perfect. I just rewatched Mary Poppins today, the original Mary Poppins today with my daughter, and everything looked so much more real. Rather than, I feel like they had such, overlays on it and maybe some CGI. But had they made it a smaller, more set-based piece, rather than something that felt so massive and CGI infused, it would have made those magical parts look so much better, rather than it being such a, it's almost all just that feeling of like, there's this magic, we're in this Harry Potter world to begin with.
So you mentioned Harry Potter. uh, that scene where they go into the alley to visit with Mary Poppins.
Yes, yeah.
Was it her aunt or her cousin?
Second cousin, several times removed. You know?
Right.
Yeah.
So some distant relative. Anyway, she goes and visits, but the alley that they go down looked almost exactly like the scene in Harry Potter where they're going down
Diagon Alley. I only know that because of the theme park. That's all.
Okay,
I've never seen the movie.
As I was watching that, I was like, are they trying to insinuate that Mary Poppins is a witch from Harry Potter world, or? And I've seen other theories too, where they're like saying that Mary Poppins is a Time Lord, from Doctor Who. So there's all kinds of
Disney's just trying to get some sweet ad revenue from their competitors.
Yeah.
That's all.
You just throw in a little bit of references here and there, and people will go nuts.
The wizarding world of Mary Poppins.
Oh man, you would definitely go to that.
I would. I would totally go to that. So they have Meryl Streep.
Oh, that was
play.
right, Meryl Streep.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have Meryl Streep play this like Ed Wynn character. Really, I love to laugh character. It's the exact same thing, and they didn't even do anything really truly original. It was like the least original idea you could have. So instead of them going to the ceiling came to them instead, and their house the whole house
Wednesday of the month.
The second Wednesday of the month. Okay, yeah, the second Wednesday of the month. The whole house just turns upside down, and everything is upside down from that day. And then, of course, she's supposed to learn to just embrace the madness and have a new perspective instead. Which, okay, fine. That's not even a bad lesson to learn. I don't mind that at all. But it just, instead of enjoying this song and feeling like I really liked it, which goes back to you talking about the songs and how the songs just weren't memorable. I don't know that they weren't memorable. They just, instead of being their own original idea, they were just this like all you're thinking the whole time is, yeah, this song is supposed to be I love to laugh, and I love to laugh way better. You know? Instead of actually being like, oh, this is such a fun song, and it's repeatable, and they had such an inspired idea.
Maybe if they make another movie after this, they'll be more adventurous. There's infinite possibilities that you can do with Mary Poppins, because as you can see in the movie, and as Michael mentions, he's like, hey, you haven't aged a day.
Yeah.
So obviously she's immortal, or she's a Time Lord.
She's a Time Lord. Yeah.
So, there's something up there. It's like with what Toy Story's done. These toys aren't. I mean, unless the toys get destroyed, they're going to be around forever, and they're going to be getting to experience a new story with new children, or with daycare, or with a museum, or all the different things that they've done. So, I mean, it's the same thing with Mary Poppins. Like, just, there's infinite possibilities.
Where it really jumped the shark for me, though, was then after they went to this house where it turns upside down, and they do the errand that they need to do. Mary Poppins allows the kids just to take the lead, and they get lost, and then they have the step-in-time number, which is obviously the exact same thing, except for then these people are BMX biking. And it's just like the most asinine, absurd thing I've ever seen.
I was hoping for a penny farthing to start coming down the ramp, like an actual period bike. Like somebody goes down and it just gets destroyed.
I still liked it, and I still was rooting for it. But at this point now, I was going, okay, wait a minute. There's an issue here. Like, why is this movie doing some weird things?
I think it's just them trying to engage with a younger audience, maybe. But
that's what I hate even more. Yeah. Not that I hate young audiences. Young audiences are great, but you don't need to. Yeah, I sound like such a get off my lawn kind of a guy.
This movie's for me.
They're catering to this audience. They want a younger audience. That's great. That's fine. But do you not realize my 4-year-old daughter loves Mary Poppins? We grew up loving Mary Poppins.
It's timeless.
It's timeless, yeah. And you just took a movie that should be timeless, and you created pieces of it that feel very, very, like, almost like 90s, like Home Alone-ish. I don't like it when you just try to, go through all your test audiences and, like, what do kids like these days? And this even feels like it was like okay, we're going to ask a whole bunch of 70-year-olds, what did your kids like in the 90s? You know, like, it doesn't feel like they even were like modern test audiences. It was like, we've got to have a chase scene. We've got to have BMX bikes. We've got to have, these are not modern things that are really popular in modern kids movies even. Unless the 30-year cycle really has just started at this point, and all of a sudden that stuff is all coming
cool.
back. Which maybe that's the case. Maybe it's like, yeah, this is
trying to bring it back.
This is the new 30-year cycle. We're there. That's very possible. Yo-yos will be real popular again soon here too. They do go back home though, because they have that moment. This was the moment to me where I thought the whole movie was going to change. They did talk about missing their mom, and their dad was talking to them then, and then he kind of has his moment where he breaks down and he says, things have just gotten so bad since your mother died. And I really wanted to see more of that. I wanted to see more emotion from this family where they pull together, or even where it rips them apart, where their sadness starts to rip them apart for a minute. And then there's like a rift that they could mend. You know, if there was something like that was exciting to me. I was kind of going, yeah, this could be great.
And the kids really brought they were bringing some of their lessons that they learned from Mary Poppins
and taught their dad.
And helping their dad.
Yeah. That to me was where I wanted the whole thing to go.
It almost could have ended there.
Yeah. Really, truly. Like, even not even knowing, did they keep their house? Did they? If it just would have ended at that point. Yeah. It was like, this could have been great. Like, I liked that because I liked how then all these lessons that the kids had learned, they now had taught to their dad, and they literally sang the song, and all of a sudden this song that was more silly, that I was thinking of as more silly, felt like it had resonance and it had some real thought to it, you know, like, wow, this actually means something, that the things that are lost can be found again. And they're going to essentially find their mom by pulling together as a family. That's where I thought this was going. And then it just went to crap city from that point on for me. Maybe not for you. Where did it go for you?
Yeah, the end just wasn't very satisfying at all. It was like just kind of a circus show.
Very much so, yeah. You have a smash cut, and all of a sudden it's basically midnight on the last day that they could keep this house. And I don't care about the freaking house. The house makes no difference to me. The house wasn't even the same house. As I was watching Mary Poppins, the house that they showed, the inside of it wasn't even the same house.
Well, maybe they renovated.
Unless it was like they renovated it and added a new room or something, which is fine if that's what they did. But to me, there was no reason to keep this house.
Yeah.
I didn't care. It wasn't something I grew up with.
I like the neighbors.
Yeah,
because,
I liked that.
You got the guy with the cannon. I want to live next to the guy with the cannon.
And I liked that, but
other than maybe not if he does it every hour. It'd be cool to go watch him.
I don't care about this house. I care about their relationship with their dad. I care about their relationship to their mom, who has now passed away. Like, I care about those things. And so I was really rooting for the house is going to be gone. They're not going to get the house. Maybe even something's going to happen.
After he says the thing to his family where he's saying, I have everything I need here.
Yeah.
That would have made a much better ending. Even, it could have shown the villain of the movie, the evil banker. If it had shown him with having achieved all of his goals, he really just ran over all these people. He took all their homes. Mm-hmm. He acquired all this wealth. And at the end, it could just show him being doing whatever he wants. Maybe he buys something new, but it doesn't satisfy him.
Yeah, just have a subtext.
Maybe
of
it's
emptiness.
showing that he goes home to a huge house that's filled with nothing. That balloon moment, like, to me, that felt like, hey, look, this guy's finally realizing I don't have anything important. I want to check out what these people have. Look, they're having fun. I want to go be a part of that. Mm-hmm. And then it's like, no, you're a bad person. You cannot have a fun balloon. You get a balloon that falls to the ground.
Mary Poppins, the whole franchise, isn't about the magic. It's about the family. It's about the relationships. And I think this movie got that backwards. I think this movie said, well, we're going to take the family and the relationships and give that the back seat, and the magic is what we're going to show. we don't care ultimately about the magic. What made Mary Poppins, the original movie, such a powerful movie wasn't because they showed all these magical things. That was a side thing that made the movie even better, that was really fun to watch, and that audiences didn't get to watch as much. We're missing out on so much of life through our through what our culture has, for us. But we are missing those relationships. And so, for a modern culture, if you want to reach a modern culture, reach them with showing how a family repairs itself, showing how powerful family is, showing how the relationships with this nanny changed their lives entirely. That could all be really powerful, and they didn't do it, and it just frustrates me because I felt like the potential was so there.
Michael and Jane both, now that they're grown-ups, they deny that like any magical things happened with Mary Poppins. Like I guess in their adult lives they just think back to Mary Poppins and think, oh well, that was just things that we dreamed of. Like, to me, I was like, wow, that was completely life-changing. Like, that's a little bit unbelievable that they wouldn't think anything of Mary Poppins, that she was magical.
I thought it was fine, the idea that they could have lost some of that, but again, make it ambiguous then. What's diegetic? What actually happens in this movie? Does it really happen, or is it taking place in the minds of these characters?
The children's minds.
Yeah. And that's fine. If you can make that all sense. Ambiguous, that's
but
great.
They kind of tried to make it more that all this magic is real.
Yeah, they made it very clear that all this magic is clear. Instead of their big revelation being like, all the magic is real, instead of it being that, what if they would have been like, you know what, screw it. It doesn't matter if it's real. This is what changed our lives, So whether these memories are real or they're just a memory that we have associated with Mary Poppins, it doesn't matter. She was a huge life change for us, and she's a huge life change now for us again, and for these kids that mean so much to us. So, I mean, that could have been so much more powerful. We also missed one point. The worst part of the entire movie. This whole...
Don't speak of it.
It's the worst part. Just, if you go see it's the worst part. It
at least wraps up like a little plot point that they show throughout the entire movie of the Admiral being very upset with
that's true.
The clockmaker,
that's true.
Or the people that run Big Ben.
Because it's always off.
5 minutes. So it wraps that up, but like it could have been done in just a few minutes.
Yeah.
But like they create a whole scene for it, and it's like probably an extra 20 minutes or so where it's just...
It was the worst padding I've ever seen in a movie, and it was just a matter to make this like intense chase scene something that's really exciting, and when ultimately Mary Poppins just fixes it because we all know she is Mary Poppins and she can fly, which makes a lot of sense, and they just...
I think she just likes... she likes seeing people work for her because she's Mary Poppins.
She likes seeing people threaten their own lives so that she can then prove her power.
And to me, that's what I guess thought of. I was like, oh, well, she likes seeing people try. And then when they fail, she's like, all right, I got this. And she just goes out.
I have probably the least hot take that I could possibly do. Here's my nuclear take for you. Mary Poppins is not nearly as practically perfect as she thinks she is. She is the most arrogant woman I think there possibly could be.
It's a Doctor Who trait.
Okay.
Being arrogant.
There you have it.
Being competent, but maybe not as good as you think you are.
She's a Doctor Who Time Lord.
Yeah.
You got it.
It's a possibility.
Two nuclear hot takes right there. That really are like the least nuclear hot takes you could have. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me and for joining Trevor here for this video of Mary Poppins. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Go see Mary Poppins if you want to go see it. I kind of hope you aren't watching this if you haven't seen it yet. But
it's worth it.
definitely,
It's
yeah.
worth at least one watch.
Yeah, I
would
think
say.
so, too.
I'd probably go back and watch it again
Yeah.
at some point.
Leave your comments. Our opinions are obviously not the end all, and Trevor's opinion is obviously a little bit different than mine, and that's completely good. And we want to hear what yours are.
We want conspiracy theories. We want
Yes.
any divergent timeline, all
Yes.
kinds of different things.
Yeah.
All that would be amazing.
Make it as weird as you possibly can make it, and we'll really enjoy that. So give this video a like and comment, subscribe if you have not subscribed yet. I am currently running through every movie of the Disney canon, the Disney animated canon, and so I'd love to be able to see you guys. I will not be doing some videos here until January. Actually, wasn't planning on completing this video yet either, but Trevor wanted to do it, and I'd jump at that opportunity to do something like this with my brother. So I'll talk with you guys again later. See you again in January, and Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.